Claire, and this is my vlog, Loves Red Sews. So welcome back if you are an existing subscriber, and welcome if you are new. So today is my weekly Sunday Sews sewing catch up, and I'm going to talk to you all about what I've been up to this week, what my plans are, and a few other little bits and pieces. So I hope you will stick around and enjoy this video. So first of all, I will share with you what I'm wearing, and the eagle-eyed among you will possibly recognise this top. So I talked about this in my vlog last week. This is the Julia sweater by Atelier Jupe. I started this last winter, and then the weather started getting a little bit better, and I kind of fell out of love with it, so I tucked it away and put it away and didn't really do anything with it all over summer. And then as the cooler weather here in the UK has started coming in, I decided to pull it back out and finish it off, and actually I've now fallen back in love with it and I really love it. Now, a few of you may notice that the placket looks very different than it did on my last week's video. So I will just stand up and show you what the top looks like. It's got these nice big roomy pockets. It has an elasticated hemband here, and that's got elastic in it. And I tend to just kind of turn that under. And you've also got elastic here in the sleeves. And this is a cuddle fleece, I believe it's called, from First for Fabrics, and it's so soft. It's really cozy, and to be honest, I don't really want to take it off, but I am starting to feel a little bit warm, so I may need to take it off shortly. This fabric is actually still in stock. I've had it for quite a while, and I looked on their website today and they do still have this in stock. I think it was £9.95 a metre. So if you do love it, then I would head over there and nab yourself some. So in my video last week, when I shared this, I had a orange placket. And I didn't have very much left to do with the top. Kind of finished everything, and the placket was the last thing to do with adding these poppers and snaps. So I'll just show you. So there's 4 snaps there, and I was working on this sort of quite late in the evening, and I made a really big error with it. I should know not to do anything too late in the evening, because as soon as it gets too late I start getting a bit tired. That's when I start making mistakes, and that is exactly what I did. So I was really pleased with myself that everything had come together really nicely. I then got my green machine out, which is the the green machine is the contraption that sort of puts all your sort of things like poppers and stuff on. I've had that since last Christmas, and I have used it a fair bit actually, and it's really good. But I decided to get that out and put the poppers on. So I kind of merrily put them all on, and was quite pleased with myself that they all went on perfectly. And then I went to put the second part on, which is this sort of under snap bit, and I realised that I had put this top popper here on this under placket. So it meant that there was no way I would be able to kind of connect them. So obviously this should sit on the outside, and I'd put them on this one. I really don't know how I did it. I was convinced I was putting them on the right part of the placket, and it was only once I'd put all 4 of them on that I realised my error, and I could have really kicked myself. I was so gutted. So I did try and take one of them off, and it started pulling at the fabric. I mean, once these things are on, they're not really coming off. Apparently there are some ways of doing it. I think you need to kind of cut them off, but where I was pulling at them, I think it was pretty much starting to tear the fabric. So I was really sort of gutted. I thought, what am I going to do? And what I ended up deciding to do, as you can probably tell, is I unpicked the plackets completely, and I took the orange plackets off. Now inside the plackets are sort of overlocked on the edge, and then the collar is all kind of finished here as well. So you kind of attach the placket and the collar right sides together, and then you turn it over, and then I hand stitched all of this. There was a lot of unpicking, so of the overlocking, all the hand stitching and everything. I'm actually going to take this off because I'm starting to get a bit hot, so just bear with me a second. So yeah, there was a hell of a lot of unpicking, but I thought if I don't do it now, then I probably won't, and I really wanted to get this finished. I was really excited about getting it all done, so I decided to do it there and then. So even though it was a bit late-ish, I just decided to completely unpick it, and then I actually cut out the new plackets, got them prepared, and then I left them there for the following day, and then I then came back to them the following day, and it didn't actually take me that long to put them on. So in hindsight, I don't know why I didn't do a black placket in the beginning. I kind of chose the orange because it was what was in my stash, and I was trying to pick out a couple of these colours, but actually now that the black placket is on, I'm actually really pleased with how it's turned out, and I think the black actually looks way better than the orange did. So this is actually a corduroy that I've got in my stash, so I think I've got about 3.5-4 meters of it, so I had plenty to play with. And then I've used the rainbow snaps from the trimming shop, and they are all nicely installed, and it all sits nice and flush. I think I did a really good job of installing those. Everything sits lovely, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. And as I mentioned, it's got these nice big pockets, and then you've kind of got this sort of slightly curved sort of seam here. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera. So it just kind of goes across there and then gently curves down and creates these kind of pockets. So yeah, I'm really pleased. It's all finished, and I've been wearing this today to my sewing social. So I will pop a couple of pictures in up here of me wearing it, just so that you can see what that looks like fully. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see on the screen. And then the next thing I then moved on to this week, so I actually had 2 sewing socials this week, like virtual sewing. So one of them was the virtual sewing room, and the other one was Thready Set Go, which is the one run by Hayley from Sew Hayley Jane. So that's how I got sort of these bits and pieces sort of done, because I was on virtual sewing sessions this week. So I then moved on to this top that you can see in the background. So this is another chalk and notch test tee. So I have made quite a few of these, and this was actually a remnant of cotton jersey. I picked this up from Andrea at the Beyond the Pink Door. She had sold out of this fabric, but there was just a small remnant left, which was less than a metre, and I really wanted to do long sleeves for this one, so I really wanted to try this top with the long sleeves, but I just couldn't make it work. I didn't have enough fabric to do that, so I had to go with the short sleeves. But I kind of figured, you know, I can, in the winter I can wear a cardigan or something with it, possibly even over the top of a long sleeve top. And because I had such little fabric to play with, I couldn't really place the tiger where I wanted it. So ideally I wanted a tiger sort of in the middle, but it was just not going to work. So I've ended up with one sort of just here on the side, which unfortunately has sort of ended up on one of my boobs. So I have a tiger boob, and then on the back I've just got a little one down here and then a little one up here on my shoulder. But I'm not too worried. I mean, it was only a remnant. So I do believe this fabric may have come back into stock now. So if you do like the look of it, go and check it out and have a look and see if there is some more in stock. So I added a nice little label inside. Can't remember where I got this from, but I think this picked out the nice teal colours in this top as well. So I'm really pleased with that. I did actually lengthen this one. So the other ones that I've made have all been the cropped length, but I thought with the cooler weather coming, I think I added about 4 centimetres to this, and it actually sits really nicely. It's got a really nice kind of it's the perfect length, so if I make any more I will possibly do that. And I also did the higher back on this one. All my other ones I've done the much lower back, but for the cooler weather I thought that would be better to do the higher back. So and actually this actually sits really, really nicely on. It's nice and flat and smooth, and it's just the perfect fit. So I will also pop a couple of pictures in up here of me wearing this one. So they are the two garments that I got sewn up this week. I did do a little bit of cutting out. So a friend of mine, quite a while ago actually, she gave me a couple of bits of fabric and asked me if I would make something for her mum and also her sister, and she just wanted kind of like a zipped pouch for them both. I did say yes. I don't generally do things like that when people ask, but I couldn't really say no, and I know her mum and her sister as well, so I I kind of said yes. And I said to her, how about something like this? So this is the Clover pouch by Noodlehead Patterns. Now my sister bought me this pattern I think for my birthday back in February, and I've not actually made them up yet. So you get 3 different sizes, so you've got like a small, a medium and a large. And she's given me kind of, I think it's like a fat quarter or something like that, maybe half a metre of fabric for each of the 2 designs. So I decided to cut out the large. I've used quite a bit of stuff from my stash also to kind of add to it. I am going to charge her a little bit, just for the bits and pieces that I've had to sort of buy to add to that. And it's actually quite involved, these pouches. So this is a list on the back of all of the things that you need, and then how much for each of the sizes. You can see a little bit of more of the detail of the sizes there. The fabric that she gave me is not great quality at all. So her and her family are not sewists or crafters or anything like that. I think her mum, for whatever reason, had this fabric kind of lying around. She was doing a bit of a clear out, gave it to my friend, and then my friend said, could I make something out of it? So the fabric for her mum is this. It's very, very sort of cheap craft sort of cotton. It's really not great quality, but I'm hoping once it's made up into the bags that it will actually look really nice. Apparently her mum absolutely loves licorice all sorts. So I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe I'll do a bag and put this in as the lining, but she wanted this to be the star of the show. So I'm going to do the pouch in that. And then the one for her sister is very similar quality fabric, and it is this kind of tiger print. So I've picked some nice linings, which I think go quite well. And I actually made a start on them today at my socials. So I've got one in this little bag here, and I've got the other one in this bag here. So all of the pieces have been cut out, and I'm just kind of keeping them sort of together, everything together in these little kind of IKEA sandwich bag type things, just so that I don't lose any of the little bits and pieces. So that is also something that I'm working on. And actually I did, excuse me, I did a little bit of this at my sewing social today. It took me quite a long time to get started because I was kind of chatting. Then my machine decided it was going to have a little hissy fit, so I had to sort that out. So it was probably getting on for midday before I properly started sewing. So I did so much, got all the zip and everything prepared, and then the next part of the instructions is to make the mesh inner pockets, and I'm still waiting for the mesh to arrive. So I then moved on to my second project that I took with me today. So this is part of my sort of autumnal sewing plans, and I think I mentioned that I was going to make another one of these tops. I've made a few of these now, and it's one of my sort of favourites. I tend to make this version here, a view D, so it has the neckband and the cuffs, and then you just hem the bottom, and the hem is very slightly shaped. So I had it all cut out and I took it to the social with me, and I've pretty much got it finished. I just need to hem it, and then I just need to finish off. I need to just sew around the neckline, but this is the fabric. So this is a French terry is a Nerida Hansen French terry, and I picked out the kind of green on here for the cuffs and also for the neckband. So I just need to top stitch the neckband down. I also need to insert this little label, and then it's pretty much done. I just need to hem it after that. So yeah, I think that's really pretty, and I really love the colours in that. I love this kind of burgundy sort of colour, and yeah, I think the green neckband looks really nice on that. So it actually doesn't take very long to come together because I sewed all of that in my social today, so I will get that finished for definite. If not today, then probably tomorrow. So that one is almost done. So that's one ticked off of my sort of autumnal plans. Then I also cut out another kind of sweater this week. Well, I say a sweater, this one's slightly different. So this is the high cuff sweater by the Assembly line, but this, even though they call it a sweater, I would say it's slightly more like a blouse, because you actually cut this out of woven fabric, but then you have cuffs out of ribbon, obviously a neckband out of ribbon, and then your hemband. And the unusual part of this is the back of the top, and you have kind of like a shaped waistband, so it kind of goes up into the small of your back, and then this sort of the top, the fabric from the top kind of just billows very slightly over it, and it's a really nice little top, and you can kind of dress it up or down. I think it makes sort of quite a nice kind of little top suitable for work, and it's sort of like partially casual, I guess, but still, you know, smartish for work. So I've actually cut it out in this fabric here. I had it as a remnant, and it's a nice colourful sort of floral, and this is actually a viscose crepe, and I had just enough of this fabric. I bought this as a remnant quite a while ago. I can't remember where now. I probably got it somewhere on my stash hub, but off the top of my head I can't remember where it was from. And yeah, I just had a remnant, and it was just enough to cut that top out. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting that sewn up. That won't take too long to put together either. So once that's kind of constructed, it's quite quick to put the cuffs and everything on. So that's another item ticked off my autumnal list. Now I do have quite a lot of plans for sort of autumn winter, but I'm trying not to get too overwhelmed or overloaded with them. So I'm just kind of chipping away slowly at the bits and pieces that I want to make. And what I'm trying to do is almost plan like a coordinating outfit. These two tops aren't necessarily sort of coordinating with other items, but one of the things I want to make is a pair of trousers, and I have this really nice dark green needle cord. It has no stretch at all to it, but you can see there, and I think this top will go really nicely with those trousers. So that is a definite. I don't think this one would necessarily go with it. I think there's just maybe a slight clash there. I mean, possibly it will, but this will definitely go with them. And then the next couple of things that I'm planning, I think, will also go well with these. So I'm currently sort of slightly undecided about which trousers to make with these. I really want to make the Helen's Closet, is it Helen's Closet? The Falconer, no, Friday, no, I can't remember who it is now, but it's the Falconer pants, and I really want to make those. Now I've got 2 meters of this. I'm not entirely sure if I will have enough, because it's a needle cord. You have to make sure that the nap is all running in the same way. But a friend of mine at my sewing social today was making the Falconer pants, and she said she only needed it was less than 2 meters to make them. And being that I am short at 4'11", I am hoping that I may possibly be able to get them out of this, because I think they would be really lovely in that sort of needle cord. So yeah, if I can, I'm going to get the Falconers out of this. If not, I'm going to have another look at my patterns and see what other trouser patterns I will be able to get out of this. So yeah, just watch this space. But these are going to be fairly soon, I think. Sort of quite high. They're quite high up on my list. So I think once I've got these kind of little tops out the way, then I will likely move on to these and the other item that I'm going to show you in a sec. So yeah, it's those. So I can't remember if I showed you this in last week's video, but I've got this fabric which I picked up from Beyond the Pink Door, and this is one of the new Lisa Taylor fabrics. So this is I think it's a cotton viscose. It's slightly thicker than a normal sort of viscose, but it still has a nice amount of drape. This is already washed and ready to go. I got this washed this week, and I just absolutely love the colours in this. So obviously it has this black background, and then you've got these nice little pops of red, but you've also got this little pops of green, and I think this will go beautifully with these trousers as well. So I'm really quite excited by these two. I am actually doing a little collaboration with this fabric with another one of the Beyond the Pink Door ambassadors. So it isn't actually an ambassador make as such, but we have just decided to do a little collaboration together. So we discovered that we had both bought the same fabric, so we're going to do a little collaboration together on that. So I'm going to be making a blouse with mine, and which I think will pair really nicely with the trousers. And then I did actually buy another fabric from Andrea, which I had in my mind that it was going to go with the green trousers and then also this fabric, and it's a textured knit, and it's absolutely beautiful quality, and I'll bring it a little bit closer so that you can see the texture. Now on the website it looked so much more red, and actually even here it looks red, but I mean, on camera it actually looks like it goes really well with this, but in real life it's actually a little bit more pink, and I'm not entirely sure if it does go with this, so I think I'm going to have to see. Although this all these bits here I think are very slightly more sort of pinky, so it is possible that they will go well together. But I actually wanted to make another Bertha cardigan. So my vision was to have a Bertha cardigan in this, a blouse slash shirt in this, and then the falconer pants in that, as a full outfit. So I'm trying to sort of, for my sort of autumn winter plans, I'm trying to plan a few more sort of outfits where things will go together a little bit more, because I'm terrible at just randomly making stuff and then not having things to go with other things, and I'm just having a lot of like patterned fabrics. So I'm trying to intentionally sort of pair things together that, you know, kind of all go together. And even this top that I'm making here also I think goes quite well with that, possibly over the top as well as a cardigan. So yeah, there's a couple of, I mean, all of the things I'm going to be making or planning to make won't all go together necessarily, but I'm trying to kind of make outfits that, you know, will go together as I go along. So they are my main plans that I will be working on over the next couple of weeks, I think. So I will see how that goes. At my sewing social today, I did pick up a couple of fabrics from the Fabric Obsession, which is a shop that is run by Becky from What Beck Sews and Adele from Sew for Serenity. So they always bring a few fabrics along with them. So I bought 3 meters of this lovely viscose fabric, which has all of my colours in, and I wanted to make a dress with this. It's possibly going to be another Hope dress. So yeah, I just love all of the colours in that, and I think that will look beautiful. And I picked up, they've got some new viscose jersey in, and I actually had in my mind that I was going to get the one with sort of the reds and stuff in it. And then when I saw it, it was a lot pinker than I I think I thought it was more red and it was a lot more pinker. So I actually went with a completely different one in the end, and I'm really pleased I did. It is this one, and it's got these lovely sort of blues, teals, greens and purples in, and yeah, I think those colours are just beautiful. So I think that's going to make a beautiful Adrienne blouse. I've made a few of those and I really love that top. So I think that might possibly be destined for that. I did actually, I'm just trying to see where my bag is. Just bear with me 2 seconds. So I did actually pick up a couple of pairs of earrings today from Becky. So she always has her little pop-up shop there at our Sewing Social, and that is Jazz and Wow. So I picked up these, which are very sparkly, and I think they will be really nice for the up and coming season. And then I picked up these, which I've not seen before. I think these might be new. And they are also super sparkly, but look at those colours, absolutely gorgeous. And I think they are going to go absolutely beautifully with this fabric. I can't believe how well they coordinate. So I'm really pleased I managed to get a pair of those and picked up this fabric. So they're going to look absolutely gorgeous together. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you. Or things that have come into my sewing room. I did pick up a little bit of bias binding recently from the Specky Seamstress, and as soon as I saw this one I had to get it, so I picked up 2 of them, and of course it was the one that was designed by Ruan, and it's this version here, the animal print. So I got 2 of these, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. So that will definitely be going into a project or 2. I have also seen a couple of vloggers recently mention a little thing that they had made by, I think it's a friend of Ruan's that has started up her own business. So she is currently just on Instagram at the moment, and she's called Spotted Owl Crafts. I will link her channel below. So she makes these beautiful kind of signs. I think they're kind of possibly knitted or something, but they're kind of like solid, and you basically let her know what you want making, what you want it to say, and then you know, in the colour and everything, and she will make them up. So I've actually had my I've had a couple made actually, but I've had one made for me. So this is part of it. So we've got Loves, Red, Sews. So I'm really pleased with these. They are absolutely beautiful, and yeah, can't really hold all 3 together, but they're designed to kind of either go up on a wall or even to kind of stand on a shelf or something like that. And I'll just bring it a little bit closer so that you can see. But yeah, she perfectly captured, when I contacted her, she said, I assume you will want red, and I said yes, of course. And I was actually quite specific about the sort of red I wanted. My favourite kind of red is like a cherry red, so I mentioned that to her, and I think she actually went out and bought the sort of yarn in that particular colour, and it's the perfect sort of colour red. So I'm looking forward to sort of putting that up on my wall somewhere, possibly even on my pegboard or something like that. And then one of my nieces, it's her birthday soon, and I thought, well, actually while I'm there I will get one made for her. I'm pretty sure her or my sister don't watch this, so I think I'm probably safe to share this. But this is the one that I had made for her, and pink is her favourite colour, and she had a kind of a sparkly pink, so I got that one made as well. So yeah, I think hopefully she's going to absolutely love that. That'll go up on her wall. So yeah, they are those things, and they actually came today. So yeah, I'm really excited. So I've been having a little think recently about my sewing room, because I think sort of leading up to my holiday and where I was quite busy trying to get stuff done, things made, my sewing room has kind of become a little bit cluttered and almost a little bit of a dumping ground, and everywhere I look there is stuff. And I don't know about you, but when I have a cluttered space, then my mind also feels cluttered, and I can't kind of, I need things to be clean and tidy and everything in its place for my mind to feel a bit like that as well. So I've been kind of feeling almost a little bit overwhelmed by my room, and it doesn't feel like a fun place at the moment to be in, because everywhere I look there's just stuff everywhere, and I've just not had time to sort of spend on it to kind of tidy it up and get it kind of sorted. I knew this would happen. So I was kind of having a think about what to do, and I kept thinking, do I need to kind of rearrange my room? But I think after doing a little bit of a kind of a Google search and stuff online and having a little chat with ChatGPT, I've come to the conclusion that what I need to do is kind of declutter, and that's kind of like my first thing that I need to do. Now, there was a lot of things that I read that said, that it's better to have sort of less items out. And I think a lot of my problem is a lot of the items that I have out on display are kind of like more emotional sort of things that I have like attachments to, kind of little knickknacks and things that, they kind of bring me joy. But actually there's quite a lot of things like that in my room, and stuff that I've read sort of suggests that what you should do is kind of clear everything off of the space. So say pick one space at a time. So say my desk, literally clear everything off and then only put back the essential things that I need, and the other items can be sort of tucked away, put in a box. And things like the personal things, that kind of bring me joy, things that are, a little bit more, sort of have a little bit more meaning, that you shouldn't put everything out on display, and maybe kind of rotate things. So they almost have they called it like a box of joy. So you put all of those things in there, and then you just display a few things at the time, and then you can kind of rotate things every few months or something. So I'm going to have a little go at that. One of the areas is sort of up here above me here. I've got quite a lot of things up there, and I have a lot of things on my pegboards, just kind of dotted about. But the drawers that I've got in my office are also, the drawers that I have in my office are also very full. So I think I'm going to kind of try and do little bits at a time and try and clear. My trouble is I hang on to things and I don't want to get rid of things because I think, oh, that might come in handy, and I think I've got to look at it slightly differently and think, actually, if I'm not going to be using it anytime soon, or it's something that can be easily replaced, then I just need to let it go and, just try and declutter a bit. So I want to kind of try and do a little bit of that. I've got a full day tomorrow, so I might pick one or two areas to make a start on. I'm obviously not going to be able to do everything in one go. I have a full-time job. I work 5 days a week, and I only have weekends off. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time just to kind of pick an area and just declutter as I go. But I definitely want to do that because I just feel completely overwhelmed by my room at the moment. It's also my working space. So I have my sort of laptop and monitor and stuff here next to me, and I feel like that's taken up a lot of room. I've actually moved my monitor up onto my windowsill, and immediately that feels like it's cleared a little bit of space. But I do have a lot of bits dotted about, and I think I just need to have a little play around and kind of declutter some of those bits. So I'm going to be doing that. The other thing I also need to do, I still haven't done my autumn, winter, summer wardrobe swap over. So I did actually have a chance the other day to take out all of my summer wear from my wardrobe. So I've got 2 wardrobes, and I've taken out all of my summer wear, and it's currently in my spare bedroom on the sofa bed, and it's basically filled my sofa bed. I do have other things in drawers, so again I think that's going to be a little project that I just chip away at. But my kind of winter garments, you know, some of the sort of more thicker sort of jumpers and things that I only ever wear in winter, they are all in those kind of zipped up Hoover bags out in my garage, and I need to bring those in and take out what's in there, make sure things in there still fit me, if there's anything I want to let go, and then I need to then put all my summer stuff in those bags. So again, that's going to be a little bit of a project, but I do need to do it because the weather is starting to cool down. I've still got quite a few things to wear, but there's obviously things out there that also you know, need to come in now that the weather is cooling down. So I've got quite a lot of things to do, and I don't know when I'm going to do it all, but you know, I just kind of like slot all these little things into little bits of my day or into my evening. You know, I might do sort of half an hour to an hour, and it's surprising how much you can kind of chip away at these things. So yeah, that's sort of some of the things that I'm going to be doing. But I think I'm going to leave this vlog here now. I hope you have enjoyed hearing about my plans. Let me know what you think in the comments below about my sort of up and coming plans and the fabrics that I'm using. If you have any other comments you'd like to suggest, anything else, have you done a declutter sort of process? How did you find it? Have you got any tips that you can share with me? And yeah, I think otherwise I shall leave that there. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a good week and you get some good sewing in, and I shall catch up with you again in my next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.